Got a chance to see the new Netflix film Carryon with Taron Egerton? Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to jump into Carryon. But before we do, I just wanted to let everybody know that my new covers are in for Lords of LA. And if you've seen this a million times, feel free to fast forward about a minute. Anyway, this is Lords of LA. It's my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood. I wrote it and edited it and did not do any of the artwork. But anyway, you can get it copies. They're 48 pages a piece, and I do sign them. If you want a copy, let me know in the comment section below, or you can email me at evzank@destinyhorizons.com. And yeah, this is issue 1, and the artwork inside is really, really good. But anyway, this is all the covers for issue 2 that I have in because I am supplying them to my Kickstarter donors. So this is the Katana cover. This is the Helene cover. This is the Samurai cover. Then we have the Marilyn Monroe cover. So this takes place in the 50s. And you can see the Nosferatu thing in the back, since that's kind of poignant right now. And then this is the Were Panther. And then I have a nude version of this as well that I'm not showing on the channel. So if you'd like a copy, let me know. Plus, we have a 50th anniversary Green Hornet anthology series written by major writers, including Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn for Star Wars. We have Kevin J. Anderson, who did Dune, and as well as Star Wars stuff. We have Brandon Easton, who wrote Agent Carter for Marvel. Just a pile of people. We have another like 10 writers on top of that, all doing this anthology with cover art by Matt Wagner, who did Batman and Grendel. He created Grendel, and it's just going to be amazing. And we're going to have signed copies as well. Anyway, you can either click in the link in the description below to get notified when we launch the Kickstarter in January, or you can go to greenhornetnoir.com and definitely sign up. All right, so let's jump into Carryon. Carry on my wayward. Not like that, Carryon. So this is a kind of a Die Hard type of movie, because even the second one took place in a airport, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of that, although I think Die Hard was far better. So this is written, so I got to jump into this first before we go into the cast. So this is written by TJ Fixman. And if you haven't heard of TJ Fixman, which I haven't, I had to look him up. He is the writer of Ratchet and Clank. That's all he's done. He's only done video games. He's never done a movie ever. And he somehow got a multi-million-dollar movie made. I don't know what the budget on this was, but it was probably close to like $50 million. So how that happened, I will never, ever know, because I don't run in those circles. But amazing that somebody that's never had any movie experience ended up with this kind of film behind him. And it's directed by, I'm going to say this name completely wrong, Jaume Collet Serra, who I think is, I think he's from Spain. So it's like, he's like direct Spanish. But anyway, how this guy keeps getting work, I don't know. Because most of everything he does fails. But he is the director of Black Adam. How that turned out. Jungle Cruise. So obviously he's worked with The Rock several times. The Shallows, Nonstop. I mean, Orphan. I guess Orphan's probably his House of Wax back in 2005. Yeah, so he jumped from Orphan in 2009. Then he didn't direct anything for 2 years. He got Unknown. Then he did, The River, Nonstop in 2014. Run All Night another like direct-to-video movie, The Shallows, The Commuter, Jungle Cruise, Black Adam, and now Carryon. How does this guy keep getting directing jobs? I don't know. So, as you could tell from my response to this film and the directing of it, is that it's average. It's extremely average. There's absolutely nothing special about this film in any way. It is a derivative film. And it's about a guy that's about to have a baby. No, not in like the traditional sense, not the 2024 sense. So his girlfriend, who he's not married to, is about to have a baby. And it was basically just announced because she doesn't have a bump yet. Goodness, that's obviously because the actress doesn't have a bump, so they're not going to put something in there just to put it in there. And he wants to be a cop, but he got turned down. And instead, he's a TSA agent and doesn't like his job. But now that he's got a baby coming up, he has to step up. So now we also get introduced to the villain, who is Jason Bateman. And I never would have saw that coming. Like, if somebody said, we need a villain, oh, Jason Bateman. However, he is the breakout of this film, stepping way out of what his normal comfort zone is. And he did a great job. Of all of the characters here, he was the best. He jumped out of his comfort zone, and he ran away with this. And not that Taron Egerton's bad. He is a perfectly good actor, but there wasn't much for him to work with here because there was no real personality to this guy. There was nothing different or unique about him in any way. All right, so that was one of the problems with this, is that they did not make their character interesting. There was nothing interesting about him. And then you had Sofia Carson, and I'm watching this film and I'm like, I have seen her before. Where have I seen her? And finally, I had to look it up because I wasn't ringing any bells. And she played Evie on The Descendants, which I think is Snow White. I think it's, I don't know. But anyway, she played one of the main characters in Descendants, and she looks really great. She's a really beautiful woman. She was always like my favorite. I always thought she was pretty good looking. And then on top of that, I'd love to see her do some action stuff because she's tall enough to do some action roles. And I think she could bulk up quite a bit. So I'd like to see more of her in the future. But anyway, she doesn't really have much to work with here either. Again, Jason Bateman's the only one that really has anything to work with, and I think that he really takes it and runs with what he has to work with. And then you have, Theo Rossi, who was just in The Penguin, playing his normal backseat character. He always plays backseat characters. He was also in the biker TV show, which is probably some of his best role was in there. But it was, so this movie is average. It definitely should not have hit the theater. It would have failed in the theater because reviews would have been bad. But anyway, it's a completely fine movie. You're not going to be disappointed with it. There are several times in the film where I was just like, why don't you just do this? Like there was a time when he actually had the bomb, because that's what's in. So he's got basically they're going to threaten his girlfriend to die. And they have this type of, which we don't even see later on. There's this thing that they have where they just have to touch somebody, which I don't know how that works, and the person has a heart attack and dies. So they threaten that they're going to kill the girlfriend throughout this thing if he doesn't do what they want, which is what they want him to put the package through to get on the plane. So, and he doesn't even know where the plane's going, which there's only a limited, when gates are there, there's only a limited amount of airlines per gate. So I don't know how that works either. We have him trying to get this bomb, and literally he could have saved everyone very easily purely by running outside with it. right? If it's not contained, then it's airborne, and it'll probably dissolve in the air. So meanwhile, there's 60,000 people in the airport for it's supposed to be Christmas Eve. But anyway, there's certain areas where he could have stopped everything and didn't. He even has a chance to kill Jason Bateman and doesn't. So there's just a whole bunch of times when this movie should have been over. And it just keeps going because the plot needs it to. And that for me is lazy writing, which naturally when I looked up who the writer was, I'm like, of course, this guy's not this kind of writer. So, yeah. So again, you're not going to be disappointed with it. I think the ending gets better as it goes along. It's a slow burn, too. It takes forever to get going. But anyway, for me, it's a completely average or slightly below average film with some really good talent in there that I feel are kind of wasted. But good for Jason Bateman. If anything, it's a vehicle for him to show his range. That's it for me. All right, so I'm going to give this thing probably a 4.5 to a 5 out of 10. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. If you can, subscribe, ring that bell ding ding. It would be greatly appreciated. I am trying to grow the channel out. And if you can, go to greenhornetnoir.com or click the link below and get signed up about when we're going to be launching this anthology series for Green Hornet. It would be awesome too. You're gonna like it no matter what. And also, happy holidays, everybody. See you guys on the next one. All right, bye bye.